Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, if I could choose only one recording by artist X to survive the impending recording cataclysm, it would have to be work Z. All right, well, the impending cataclysm, for those of you who have not been following this series, is that the evil god of classical music, Cankresans, disgusted with the chaos in the classical music record industry and the obnoxiousness of so many of the people involved in it, has decided to destroy everything but for one work per composer or one recording per artist. And we have to persuade him that we have the right choices, and by making these choices so compelling, dissuade him from carrying out his evil plan. Right? Okay, that's the concept. So, the artist in question is the conductor IGOR Markevitch, one of the great, nifty, interesting, individualist conductors out there. And the work in question, and the recording in question, is this one, the Gounod St. Cecilia Mass. How's that for an interesting choice? Seriously, it really is. The reason I chose this, and everybody would, of course, is because, well, Markevitch wasn't just your average conductor. He was a genius composer who gave up composition to take up conducting. He did almost everything well, but that's not the point. What makes him so interesting is that he explored the highways and byways of the repertoire. I mean, picking unusual works and from everywhere and everything from zarzuelas to Berwald to, people who were not getting attention, but who always wrote great music. He always picked good and great, unusual, interesting music. And when he did regular stuff like Brahms or Beethoven, as often as not, he was astounding, absolutely astounding. I mean, he wrote, an entire textbook and, series of in addition, actually, of the Beethoven symphonies, for example, and how to play them and what to do with them. He was really kind of an amazing guy. Absolutely amazing guy. He's also the father of the conductor Oleg Caetani, who actually wrote to me a little while ago saying that I didn't talk about Markevich's Tchaikovsky enough. And he's probably right, because his Tchaikovsky was also phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So the Gounod St. Cecilia Mass, why is this so characteristic and typical and essential? And why is the evil god Cankresans going to be thrilled to the innermost core of his being by this recording? It's because of this. Markevitch didn't just know how to pick them. He knew how to play them. And that's what always is the issue when you do unusual repertoire. One of the things I've always said, it's very nice that we have a lot of independent labels and like radio orchestras and all these people staffed by artists you've never heard of, doing unusual music. And it's great. And they do a very good and professional job. But nothing substitutes for a great performance of unusual repertoire. And this is a great performance. I mean, an astoundingly great performance. It's the best out there. I mean, hands down, it's the best out there. It's absolutely stunning. Very well recorded, thrillingly sung by which is it? Is it the Czech Philharmonic? The Czech Philharmonic. Yeah, the Czech chorus, the Czech Sänger Chor. Oh, it's in German. The Czech Philharmonic Chorus. Thank you. They sing fabulously. They're a great choir with rich, deep, almost Russian-style basses and really good, all four parts are wonderful. You have a terrific selection of soloists, Irmgard Seefried, Gerhard Stolze, and Hermann Ude. And, oh my goodness, it's just an amazing performance. But the other thing that he did and that he understood is that, there is no area, one of the few, well, let's put it this way, the French Romantic liturgical music is just universally sneered at and looked down on. People think it's sentimental and it's tacky and it's tasteless and vulgar. And Gounod, particularly, who's supposed to be such a sap when it comes to this stuff, it's almost as bad as the English Victorian oratorio tradition. The difference being that the English have, always had, an enthusiastic local following for that stuff, whereas even the French abandoned their own sacred music tradition. And the performances of this coming out of France, which were all on EMI for the most part, have been pretty mediocre. I mean, not nearly as good as this one. And one of the reasons this is so great is because Markevitch makes you listen to it. He treats it like it's the greatest music in the world. He doesn't have to rush. He has an incredibly sharp sense of rhythm and balance and dynamic range, all the kinds of things that intrigue your hearing and that will make you focus on the music and really give it the attention he deserves. He treats the credo, as I've said many times in talking about this recording, like the greatest Beatles song ever. It goes, credo in unum Deum. It's just so catchy. And it has sort of this boogie-woogie bass. It's like half the tempo anyone else does it. But you can't hear it any other way once you've heard this because it has so much power and conviction. And that's what you want in a performance of unusual repertoire. And that's exactly what Markevitch delivers time and time and time again. And nowhere more so than in this recording of what is actually a sacred music masterpiece that never gets performed. And it should. It's a fabulous second half big concert piece. You know, it even has like a march at the end for, like, you know, the presentation of the colors and all that stuff. I mean, it's got all kinds of nifty music in it that we seldom get to hear. So there you have it, my friends. I think the evil god Cankresans is going to be dazzled by this, and you will be too. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.